Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Fireman Dan and welcome back to another Space Engineers video. This time we're going to go through another script. And this one is called Tree Menu Command Net. Now what can this script do? This script you can control any block on your grid as well as other program blocks. So why is this useful? Well, those of us who build ships, grids, fancy fighters and mining vessels and all that, and all these program blocks and all the other kind of scripts, you all know, excuse me, you all know in order to control it, you got to put stuff down on your toolbar. And sure, you got 1 through 9. Sorry, taking a drink, a little plumbed up here. Sure, you got 1 through 9, and each through 1 through 9, you got 9 buttons you can push. That's all fine and dandy, but try to remember all that, right? In this case right here, I got 2 of them, right? And I got a script, I got the easy automation set up to control this single piston up and down. That's it. And it's easy to remember, right? 1 and 2, 1 and 2. What if I got all 3 of them controlled, right? All you see down here is a picture of a program block. And if you hover over it, it says, you know, EA for Easy Automation PB program block run. Well, run what? So unless you got a text panel with controls nearby, good luck. Sure, if you use it every day, you may remember it, but if you're like me and you only play every once in a while, and you come back to one of your builds, you're like, okay, what do I do? What does what? That's why you need to have controls typed down somewhere. Or say, I don't know, you got landing gears and connectors, and let's say your ship has 5 connectors. Now you gotta have 5 different connectors down at the bottom. Okay, which one's which? And then you gotta go and look at it. Oh, I want this one. Yeah, well, that's where the script comes into play, right? So now I'm in the seat. Watch what happens here. I'm going to push number 1 to activate the script. Now look at the screen. If you look closely, you see the little white dot moving? It's basically a mouse and pointer. Q and E are like the enter and backspace. E is enter, backspace is back up, right? So piston 1, that's that first piston. I'm going to enter it. Now in this case, extend 1, right? Retract 1. And then I got reverse all. Now this is 5 meters and 10 meters. This is set up for the max distance on piston number 1. So I'm going to hit number 5, and I'm going to go back to extend 1. And it goes up so far. Watch, I hit number 10, goes all the way up. Now let's retract it. And then all pistons on and off, right? So reverse all, off. Right? And you can do this with, I'm just using pistons just for simplicity's sake. You can use this for any block in a game. And I'm going to hit Q to go back. Now I'm going to go to my program block, my easy automation, right? Extend 1, retract 1, which was what I had down here at the bottom, right? Boom, boom. These 2 are now right there. Hit the backspace. Go to timers. Now beacon timer, right? And so I got a timer block right here. This timer block is set up to turn this light on and off. Right, let's go back. I'll get the report here in a second. Next up is the interesting part. If you got 2 grids with a script involved, with an antenna range, you can control both grids. That platform's exactly identical to this one. Just to make things easier for me, I just copied and pasted it over. But they're both set up the same ways, right? And they're in an antenna range. So watch this. I want to come down to where it says local. I'm gonna hit the arrow over. Come on. There we go. Platform 2. That's that platform right there behind us. Now, like I said, they're pretty much set up exactly the same. So, go to timers. Beacon timer. Watch this. Watch the light there in the distance. The backspace. Go to pistons. Zoom out. Oh, let me do this here. So, extend 1 and reverse. So you can see down there on the screen where I'm moving my mouse up and down. It's moving up and down, right? Now watch the pistons. Extend 1. Reverse 1. This is all of them. Reverse all of them. Pretty cool, huh? And if you have, I don't know, 10 grids with the script set up to control 10 grids, you can just go through and wrong button. Just go through and change them. And reports. Once again, I'll get back to that. So how do you set this up? Well, it's quite simple. Now, first off, let me come in here. The creator has a little guide down here. If you want to read through it, by all means, go for it. And I'll definitely leave a link for it in the description below for the script. But I don't know a nice way to put this. If you follow my channel, you know I got countless videos all based on scripts, using them, setting them up, what they are, and I was getting a headache trying to read through this and figure this out. The creator, Mr. or Miss, I should say, whichever, Chirkerlin, buddy, you have no idea how to write this. You wrote this as if you're assuming somebody knows how to do it. And now that I figured it out, I know what you're saying. But before I figured it out, my God, buddy, you need to go back and redo this guide. If you want to read through it, those of you watching this video, go for it. Good luck. So let me give you a little platform here. Pretty simple. So you need, I didn't even put down a command chair. A command chair. The screen. And it doesn't have to be this screen. It doesn't have to be an LCD screen. You can actually use it on the control seats if you want. Obviously power. You need a program block for it. And technically that's it. If you want to link it to another platform, you need an antenna. And obviously whatever blocks you want to control. If you want timer blocks, timers are the easiest to set up with a script. Right? So we'll put down a timer block. All of these, the control seat. Now the control seat is not required according to the manual if you're using for remote control stuff. But the control seat, the LCD panel, the program block, they all got to go into a group. It doesn't matter what it's called. In this case, I'm just going to say command, right? And then put the script in the program block. Now, timer blocks are automatically populated on the LCD screen, but they have to be a part of the group as well. Once you get to that, hit recompile, and boom. Like I said, timers are automatically on here. But if I were to move the time, well, I'll show you. And then come in here, and the command was, what was the command line? I actually don't remember. It's down here, using it. Augment with augment CC, so capture controls, right? So take the program block, stick it on your toolbar, run, CC. Okay. Boom, that's it. Now as you see, timer block, right? They're automatically in here. But if I were to take this out, recompile the script. It still says timers on there. But if I hit it, there's no timers on it, because there's no timers on the grid. So that is setting it up, the script itself up on the grid, right? Your seat, your LCD, your program block, stick them into a group, doesn't matter what it's called. And if you want timers, add timers to it. Now the blocks on the grid itself, such as pistons or batteries or the light, right? They do not have to be part of the group. Only those mentioned. Like even here, this is Easy Automation program block. This does not have to be part of the group. Just the seat, the LCD, and the program block. So now that that's set up, how do you set up the script itself to control your blocks? Well, let's go in here first. Come in here, custom data. We got all this, right? That's this right here. So, if you want to follow along using the guide, that is this stuff right here. All right, for each first group report. And then for property or values, it's right here, right? So it's pretty much this. This is what you need. It's extremely confusing because it doesn't give you the full details, and I'll explain that in a minute. So for each is runs an action for all the blocks of a certain type, and I'll actually come back to that one. Now first, name and action. This runs the action for the first block it finds. Group name action tries to run the action for all blocks in a specified group. And then report, I'll come back to that. Report, and this kind of go hand in hand. And report is also for finding commands. I'll come back to those. Now for the property, it's slightly different. It's instead of, right, so you still got your first group. And for each, you still got the name, then you got which property and the value you want it set at. That comes where report comes into play. I'll come back to that. So, over here, pistons, right? If you look right here, it says pistons. If you look right here, piston. Well, this is, I'll show you. Retrieve piston data. Pistons, there we go. I was messing around with it earlier. Recompile. Alright, so pistons. The first line is that's your top menu, if you will, right? It's your top menu. So, come in and edit. Now we got all this, right? That's all these. Below it, there's a space in there. Notice that. If you do not put the space in here, this will not work correctly. If I were to take the space out, it would appear on the main menu. Here's what I mean. Watch this. Some data, take the space out. Watch the screen. See, extend 1 is now on the main screen. And this right here is the simple fact that gave me such a headache. Because nowhere in that guide does it say put a space bar under the top menu. And dude, rewrite your menu, please. Do everybody a favor and rewrite your guide. It's horrible. So, display name equals, and then extend 1 or retract. This first part right here is what you want it to what you want the text to come as, right? Extend 1, retract 1, reverse all, 5 meters, 10 meters, pistons on and off. And then there's the colon. I don't know what is that. The colon with the semicolon. Is that what it's called? I don't know. I don't remember my English stuff. Not the 2 dots. The colon with the apostrophe or whatever, right? And then the command line. This is the command line. This is the name. And make sure you put the space before it. Display name equals extend 1. Display name equals retract 1. Equals reverse all 5 m sync groups. Now after that, first, right, this says, right here, says to detect and control the block named piston 1, right? First, detect and control the block named piston 1. Come over here. First name action, it runs for the first block it finds. So if I were to take the 1 out of it, it would control the first block named piston, right? So all these are named piston. Piston 1, piston 2, piston 3. It would control the first one it finds. More than likely it would still be piston 1 because that's the first one that I put down onto the grid. But you can end up controlling any one of the 3 of them. So just a word of caution. Yeah, ignore that. That's something else I'm working on. Now next below it is, right, so it's display name, reverse all, colon, or semicolon, group, colon, so double dots, pistons, and then the command, reverse. Right, so this is saying to control a group called pistons, and then I want them to reverse. So if I come into the menu, I got this group here called pistons, right? And I want them to reverse. But if I do it on the screen here, reverse. Now back down. Now next up, these is the values, right? This is down below here. So in this case, it says first, piston 1, upper limit 5. First, name, which is piston 1, property value, the property ID, which is the upper limit, and then the value, which is 5. Same thing down. First, piston 1, upper limit 10. Now, if I were to change the first to group, and then piston 1 to pistons, it would change the upper limit of the entire group, all 3 pistons, to 5 or 10. Then lastly, below that, that's where this top one comes in, for each, for all of them of a specific type. And this is good really for, in my opinion, for batteries, your batteries on and off, or set them to recharge, or all your reactors on and off, that kind of thing. So display name pistons, right? So it shows us pistons on and off for each, right? For each I type, that's the pistons. So I type is my extended piston base. Yes, that is what it's called. I will show you where to find that in a minute. And then on off, that's the command. Right? So it's for each I type, which is the piston, and then the action. That's this, and I'll show you where to find this in a minute. The other confusing thing can be is the property value IDs, which is upper limits, and that is where you get the value ID. It could be upper limit, lower limit, whatever, and the name from the same source. Now, and I'll come back to that. Next up is your program blocks, right? So, go back. Oops. Go back. Program blocks. Got extend and retract, right? Extend and retract. And that is a program block command. I am using Easy Automation. Right? This is Easy Automation. It's a completely different script. We're not covering it. I'm just letting you know. I just throw it in here because I can control the pistons with it. And I can show you how to use a program block. So for the program block, it's the same thing, right? Display names. Well, let me start over. It's the same thing. You got your first level, right? No space in here. EA program block. This right here has to be the name of your program block. So whatever this is called, right? EA PB, Easy Automation PB, has to be this right here, this first text line. Below that, you got display name equals extend 1, display name equals retract 1. Same thing as above. Whatever you want to appear on this menu is that. Same exact thing. And colon. And this right here is the augment, the command line augmentation that you want your program block to run. Right? So, right, augment EA PB retract. Let me take this. Extend, run, piston's going up. Run, piston block's coming down. I cannot tell you what to put right here, per se. Like I said, whatever your augment is, for whatever script you are using this for to control, that's what goes here, right? So program block name, exactly as it comes up, your space, your display name, whatever you want it to display as, and then the command. Now, if you do not want the display name in there, and this runs for all of them, let me just remove this here. You'll get the original text, right? EAPB extend. So you do not have to put the display name in there. I recommend you do because, I mean, we all know it looks nicer. Now, one space. If you try to put a separate submenu in here, such as 2 spaces, you're going to get an error code. So if you get an error code, you know why. 1 space only. So just to recap, for each is for all the blocks of a certain type. First is for a specific block. A group is for a group of blocks. And then the set of property, it's the same thing for each. First group, your property ID, and your value. And when you put them in, the first one is the main layer. Put anything below it, you put a space bar. It's another sub menu. And then below that, you could put your first layer, your next first layer, and then your sub menu, and then your next first layer, and then your sub menu. Display name equals whatever it is you want it called. Semicolon. Then your command line, right? So first, or group, then the name of the block, or the name of the group, and then your commands, right? Same thing down here. It's first, or group, or all of them. The name of the block or group, your value name, and your value number. And the last one for all of them, it's the same thing, but it says for each, and then the name of the blocks. Now, where does this come from? Where's the name of the block come from, and where does the command, the value name come from? Well, that's where this is. Report, name, right? So if I come into menu tree, custom data, it's right here, report, and then report, right? So report, name of the block. Whichever kind of block you want to get all the commands and stuff named for. In this case, piston. I wanted this stuff with a piston. It doesn't have to be a piston. It can be the reactor. It can be the antenna. It could be a gun turret. It could be a refinery, a landing gear, whatever. Name it something unique. In this case, piston 1. And the command you want to use is report, name of the block. Now, whenever you hit that and activate that, I'm going to hit this, right? I'm going to come over here to your program block, and this is where having easy access to your program comes in. Look at your LCD screen. You got all these lines of text here. There's so many of them, it's hard to read. So I'm gonna have to come in here and hit edit text, keyboard, edit text, and here's all this. So from here down is all this stuff. I know it's a lot. So first off, type my extended piston base. That's where this come in. My extended piston base. If you want to control all your reactors on and off instead of pistons, you would need to put it in the report and find out what the name is for the reactors. Instead of type, it would be, I don't know, whatever it is. I don't know. I didn't look. But it would be my, in this case, it's the piston, so it's my extended piston base. Below that is your commands, right? So on, off, toggle it on, off, toggle it off, show on HUD, right? This is the command, right here, that's the command. That's the command, that's the command. And some of these other ones are your values, right? So increase font, increase text padding slider, decrease text padding slider, force weld boolean, safety detach is command. So you would almost need to know kind of what you're looking at, like increase upper limit, decrease upper limit, increase lower limit, max impulse axis. If you come over here, these are all your values, right? Your velocity, your max distance, minimum distance, impulse, your safety detach. So you kind of got to use a little bit of common sense. You really do. So in this case, I wanted my maximum distance, right? Remember, I wanted my maximum distance to 5 and 10. So I come in here, edit text, I look through it, and where's that? Right, like, so that's the command. This is the velocity. I know you can change the velocity numbers, so I know that's a value. The increase max, wait, hang on. Increase upper limit. That's what I was looking for, right? So increases the maximum distance. I know from playing Space Engineers that means to increase the maximum distance of the piston. So this would be the command I would need. That's where that come from. Increase upper limit. That's where the increased. Oh, wait. My bad. Do that one more time. Where's it at? Yeah, increase upper limit, right? So why did I put upper limit 5? I'm trying to think. I only put upper limited in, but it seemed to work. Oh, that's why. These are actions, right? These are properties. All the way down here to properties. Upper limit, so that would have been a 5. Lower limit, that would have been 5. The velocity was single. So I would think the action increase upper limit would increase it by 1. So you can slowly increase the upper limit compared to the properties. So just to recap, here, go to your grid, put your program block down, put your control sheet down, put your screen down, stick them all in a group called whatever. This one I called a PB control. You can name whatever the heck you want. Any timers you want, put them in the group as well. Timer had to be in the group. Everything else, not at all. Come in, custom data, put your command you want. The first one is your main level, right? Your main level. Anything that's just base below the main level is your in your sub level, right? In your sub level, And for your commands, you got your display name equals something, and then your command. You got first, group, or all, for each, or all of them. The command you want, or the block you want to control, the group you want to control, or all the blocks you want to control. And then the command you want to run, or the command you want to run. In this case, it's change the upper limit to 5. I hope this makes sense. If not, I apologize. The script is very, very easy. It's very easy to use. It's very easy to set up once you get a grasp of it. But reading this, I was getting a headache. And I could see so many uses for this. So, for example, you got a miner, you're coming into a dock, you got your base, and you got a door, right? Come in, stop, activate your script, select your base grid, open your hangar doors remotely. Boom, hangar doors are open. Fly in, dock. Close your hangar doors remotely. If you got, I don't know, you got a satellite up in space or a space station up in space, connect them together by a laser antenna. You can control your stuff on your grid through your laser antenna from down here. So it's pretty cool. Well, Fireman Dan, if you like this, hit the like button. Share the video with your friends. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys next time in Space Engineers.